Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? I want to keep an eye on this story in the coming days. Over at NFL.com, there's a piece from Eric Edholm who lists possible destinations, free agent destinations for running back Dalvin Cook. And the Saints are on the list, along with the Broncos, Dolphins, Cowboys, Bills, Jets, and Cardinals. And part of what Edholm says about the possibility of Dalvin Cook being a target for the New Orleans Saints is the fact that Alvin Kamara is facing a 6-game suspension. And yes, while you have Jamal Williams and Kendre Miller, you're seeing Kamara's productivity decrease the past 2 seasons. And the fact that the Saints have spent what they've spent this offseason bringing in Derek Carr, they're clearly trying to win now. And so adding a piece like Dalvin Cook would make sense. That's I'm giving you the rough sort of synopsis there. But there's a couple of things here. Yes, Alvin Kamara is facing a potential 6-game suspension. And yes, Alvin Kamara's productivity has plummeted the last 2 years, both as a runner and as a receiver, relative to what he was early in his career. And injuries have mounted. But, and oh, by the, real quick, I always say, for every player in the NFL that becomes a free agent or is a potential trade target, if you are in an NFL front office, any team, Saints or anybody, you are negligent if you're not at least exploring any possibility that could make your team better. And Dalvin Cook, who has 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons, could make the Saints or really any team better. He had 1,100 rushing yards last year. And yes, Dalvin Cook would make you better in 2023. And if Dalvin Cook were looking to sign a 1-year sort of prove-it deal, okay. But there's no sense in making any type of long-term commitment to Dalvin Cook, who's 28 years old. The Saints drafted Kendre Miller to replace Alvin Kamara's declining production and with the possibility of his 6-game suspension this year. The Saints knew that was imminent, and so they drafted the guy to replace him. That's Kendre Miller. The Saints also knew Mark Ingram's not coming back. They need a veteran running back presence, where we saw a guy like Latavius Murray early a year ago, and they've gone round and round several times there.
Murray, present.
And Eno Benjamin and some of the other guys, you had David Johnson late in the season, weren't going to be realistic options. So the Saints went and invested in Jamal Williams, who's 28 years old. And remember, Williams, Kamara, and Cook all came into the league the same year, 2017. Here's the number of games played for each. Williams, 90. Kamara, 88. Cook, 73. They all came into the league the same year. Here's the rushing attempts. So Williams has played the most games. Rushing attempts. Williams, 915. Kamara, 1135. Cook, 1282. So Williams has played in the most games with the fewest attempts. Cook has played in the fewest games with the most attempts. You can see it. You can see the writing on the wall. You got a 28-year-old running back who's had some really productive seasons and is still, by all accounts, a very good running back. But Minnesota is looking and saying, when do we think for a 28-year-old running back who's had nearly 1,300 attempts in his career in 73 games, is that productivity going to start to decline? And they're trying to say farewell, potentially a year too soon instead of a year too late. So they're trying to time their jump. And I get it. And if you're the Saints, you don't want to pick up a big contract potentially on a player that could be about to decline, like you're seeing right now, unfortunately, with Alvin Kamara. It's why the Saints did what they did. They addressed it. They got a veteran guy in Jamal Williams who's got plenty of tread left on the tire. And they went and drafted Kendre Miller, who we detailed in his 3 years at TCU, had a total number of rushing attempts in 3 years at TCU as Leonard Fournette did in 2015. 1 season at LSU. So you got 2 guys, plenty of tread still on the tire. A veteran, a rookie, versatile backs. The Saints are good there. And you've still got Kamara in whatever role he may face this year. So, yeah, I mean, you got me a guy who has the most tread on the tires, who led the NFL in rushing touchdowns a year ago in Jamal Williams, and you drafted what you hope is your next Kamara in Kendre Miller. So, look, had the Saints not signed Jamal Williams, and they were going into 2023 with Kamara and Kendre Miller, and you're thinking, man, you're going to have a 6-game suspension. The same situation you were in a year ago, effectively, where you're fearful of a 6-game suspension for Kamara, you're not sure what you're going to do at running back, then absolutely you make a hard push for Dalvin Cook. But Dalvin Cook is going to have more desirable suitors than New Orleans, where you've got Kamara, you signed Jamal Williams, and you drafted Kendre Miller. I don't know why Dalvin Cook would be interested in New Orleans. I could understand the Saints being interested in maybe a 1-year incentive-laden type deal, but Dalvin Cook's going to have better options than New Orleans. So every front office, you always pick up the phone. You make the call if you have an opportunity to make your team better, and Dalvin Cook would make you better in 2023. I don't think it makes sense, though, for him or for New Orleans. So I can't see that happening. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.